Hello everyone, Ann Nicole here with Canterbury Card Designs, and today we're going to be doing some ink smooshing and some embossing. Oh, and here you're going to see probably a cat paw or two here. So we're going to be doing some ink smooshing to create some panels, and then we're going to do some embossing and some die cutting. So these are just two that I had made earlier, so let me show you what we're going to use. So I have some watercolor paper. This is just some Canson watercolor paper that I picked up at Michael's, and I have them cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Actually, I only need 2 because I'm going to make 2 more. I also have this was left over after I cut my panels, and I'm going to ink smush this too. Don't throw away these scraps, but because these make really cool, you cut them in half, and they make good bookmarks. You know, they make good gifts to give to people. So what I'm going to be using today, I am going to be using the Simon Says Stamp Bundled Snowman die set, and then I'm also going to be using the Simon Says Stamp Pixie Snowflake embossing folder. This is a 3D embossing folder. Sorry, my cat, as you can see, one of my kitties is trying to push it out of my hand. Today we're going to be doing our ink smushing with some distress inks. I'm going to be using Wilted Violet, Picked Raspberry, Salvage Patina, Cracked Pistachio, and then I'm also probably going to be using some Distress Spritz in Peacock Feathers and Picked Raspberry. So what I'm going to do with these two, because I know I'm going to use them at some point here, I'm going to turn them over and just set them against something so that they don't fall down, just so that I can mix them up, because you see how all of that nice shiny stuff is at the bottom. I want to mix this up. So I'm going to put these aside for a few minutes until we're ready for those. Okay. And then we're going to do some ink smushing. So let me grab my white. I'm going to grab this. This is so old, I honestly don't even know who made this. I want to say it's a Tim Holtz map, but I'm not totally sure. So I'm going to lay this flat, and then we're going to start our ink smushing. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the blue first. I'm going to do a little bit of Salvage Patina. And you don't have to use the re-inkers. You can actually just use the ink pads if you want, any ink pad that you have. Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated ink pads work really well. This is some Cracked Pistachio. And you just smush it onto your surface. Now here I'm just going to spray some water. And you use as much water, as little water as you want, depending on how vibrant you want your background. So now I'm just going to take the side and just smush it. And this is actually really fun. When I'm not sure what to make, I really love ink smushing, because it kind of just, you don't really have to think too much about it. You just kind of go with it until you're happy with the results. Okay, and now I'm just going to get that all up there from my background. And then we'll kind of work on it a little bit further. Actually, I like that. That's pretty. I like the way that's coming out. All right. That's pretty. I like that. Okay. And now I'm going to add a little bit more. First I'm going to add a little bit more Cracked Pistachio. I love this color. And I'm going to make it, I'm going to put a little less water on it this time, just so that the color is a little more intense. And I'm going to just put it in a couple different spots so you get that a little bit more intense. Good. Okay, let's see. Okay, I like it. Now you can see I got a little bit of cat hair on there, but that's okay. That'll come off when we dry it. I'm just going to tap this a little bit. I just have a microfiber cloth. Got these on Amazon. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit right on the panel. This will give us some really vibrant color. Okay. I'm just going to put a few dots right on there. Spray a little bit of water. Again, as much or as little as you want. And you don't even have to do this. You could leave the panel as is. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this because I like those little pops of vibrancy, like you see in this one that I made. I did this here, and I just like those little pops of color there. Okay, there we go. And then I'll do a little bit with cracked pistachio. Oops, boop, 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 boop. Okay. Okay, you can see I've really got some cat hair on there, but again, that'll come off. Cat hair is a little inevitable in my house because we have 8 of them. Okay. Ooh, I like this. I like how this is coming out. And I'm just dabbing a little bit. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do with this one is I think I'm going to add a little bit of this wilted violet. Just a couple dabs. You really don't need much. These colors are so vibrant. I think on this one, I'm just going to mix it up a little teeny tiny bit. Boy, you can really see that cat hair on there. Like I said, though, that's okay. That'll come up. Ooh, I like this. This is good. And you can see how it kind of splattered when I... I like this. This is good. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake up this Distress Spritz. Okay, I have this in peacock feathers. I don't have one that matches. And I'm just going to do that. Dab a little bit just to give it a little bit of shine. Now I could have used some perfect pearls here too. And then I'm just going to kind of whoop, mop up some of that ink that I have and just, let's see. Yeah. And again, you can stop at any point in this process. Stop where you're happy. Okay, I like this. I like this. I think this is good. And like I said, that cat hair will come off. All right, now we're going to take the other panel. I'm going to mop this up. I don't want to waste this. So I'm just going to mop this up. And then I'm going to put some more down. And what I ended up with is kind of a muddy mess here, actually. But all right, I'm going to wipe this all up. Because this one I'm going to do more pinky purple. So I'm going to put a couple drops of picked raspberry on here. And then I'm going to put a couple drops of wilted violet, and we'll see what we get. Now this initial layer, I'm going to put a lot of water down, and I'm going to just smush away. Ooh, look at that. That wilted violet is really very, very vibrant. I think we'll put a little more water there. Ooh. What I did. Oops, 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 oops. Okay, so we'll just get that base layer kind of down and then we'll go from there. All right, now since I have a lot of purple on here and I want to add more pink, I'm just going to go straight to this, adding some right to the card itself, just to get those vibrant little pops. And I thought I would do the pink purple kind of theme because I really like pink and purple as kind of non-traditional Christmas colors. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to leave this one alone. I don't think I'm going to add any Distress Spritz to this one. I think I'm going to leave this be. I'm going to do, because I know my snowflake's going to be over here, I'm just going to do another like little pop right over here. Okay. A teeny bit more water. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now Remember I said I had this long piece? I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna do this with the pink purple theme again. So I have a lot of purple on here, so I'm gonna go with adding a little bit more pink and just kind of gonna drag this through. Just kind of mop up this color that I have left here. And look at how pretty that is. Ooh, I like that. Get a little more of this purple. Ooh, look at how nicely that blended. I really like that. All right. I like that. I think that's pretty. Usually what I do to make these is I just put, when they're all dry, I put a piece of 110-pound cardstock on the back, so it gives it a little bit more heft, a little more weight. I put a sentiment on it, or I put a name on it or something like that. Maybe watercolor, a little painting on it. And either use it myself or give it as a gift. Ooh, I like that. Okay. I have this one little white spot right here. So I'm gonna get some of this up. I'm gonna see this little pop of purple here. I really like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get a few more of those. Doop. Doop. And probably too much purple there, but we'll go with it. We'll just go with it. Okay, I'm gonna take my microfiber cloth again, and I'm just gonna kind of dab. Try not to dab so much of it off because I really like how that looks. Okay, all right. Get that little piece of white there. Trying to create a few more lighter areas too. There we go. I like the way that looks. I think that's really pretty. Now, this one, I have my picked raspberry spray. It's almost completely, well, gotta shake it for a minute here. Didn't mix up quite as good as the, what was the other color I used? Peacock feathers. It does take a little bit to mix this up. All right, so one of my cats here is curious about what I'm shaking. All right, so I'm gonna just do a little bit of spray. Oh, if it comes out. Ay, 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 ay. It's not coming out. Probably got to stick something in the. All right, plan B. Plan B will be to use some perfect pearls. So I always keep some perfect pearls mixed up in one of my Tim Holtz distress sprayers. I have 3 of these. I have one for water, I have one for alcohol, and I have one with distress spritz mixed up. Okay. All right, so we're gonna just do a couple little sprays here. Oh my goodness, don't tell me that this isn't spraying either, because that would really upset me. I just used this a couple days ago and it was working fine. Well, the best laid plans of mice and men, right? Jeez Louise. Well, I guess it's staying like this. I guess this was not meant to be shimmery. Huh. Well, I don't have anything handy right near me to try to get this to work. So, all right. So this is going to stay as is. All right. So I'm going to move this aside. I'm going to clean up my mat. Guess I need a new bottle. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. And these microfiber cloths are available on Amazon. I think actually I got these. I clicked on a link in one of Jennifer McGuire's videos and got these. And you can get them, I think it's a 6-pack or a 12-pack. And they don't leave any fiber behind. And they just work great. Okay. All right. So now I am going to pause for a second and I'm going to dry these panels. Okay guys, back again. Let's see, I embossed these off screen and I actually was able to get my Perfect Pearls mix working. So I actually did do a little bit on this pink one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that adorable little bundled snowman and we're going to put him together, her together, whatever. And I'm going to be using this as a guide. And here's one I already put together. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to put that on, but I have the little pieces cut out. So let's see, let's put together, I have one with a purple hat, purple scarf. There we go. We need the little pom-pom. Okay, so now let's put this together. Now the first thing I did was, let's see, where did I put it? Oh my goodness. Okay, here. I took a Copic marker. I took B0000 and I just put a little bit here. And then I made it a little bit wider at the end. And then we'll do that again once we have all the other stuff in place. So I'm going to put the hat on using, again, this as a guide so that I put the glue on the right side. You can also tell because of where the lines are. All right, so let's put a little bit of glue on this guy. Okay. Okay, and we'll get that on there. I had a little bit of trouble with the first one figuring out how the little pom-pom went, but honestly, it really doesn't matter in the end. Let's see. And maybe I will, if I can find them. I know they're right here. I was gonna get my reverse tweezers out and do that, but let's see. And these kind of line up here. Okay, so again, it doesn't really matter if this is on top or underneath. All right, now let's, oh, and I see what I did on the other one. We're going to take this and we're going to put this under here. And before I glue everything down, I just want to make sure that everything else fits before I put glue on there. Okay, and that looks good. So I'm going to put some glue on the brim and just nuzzle that right up there against the hat. And I see what I did here. Too late to fix it, but see, I forgot the little brim. No big deal. I don't really think anybody will notice. Okay, so now let's get our scarf on there. So we're going to do this piece first. If anybody lives in the Northeast right now, you know you need a good warm scarf because it has been snowing all day here. Okay. We got some snow yesterday. We probably got about 7 inches yesterday, and then today we've probably gotten at least another 2 or 3. All right, so I'm gonna put this kind of right here. You see the little guide. I'm going to put that right there. Got a little glue that zhuzhed out there, but that's okay. So now I'm going to take my marker again and just do a little bit on the face, just to kind of give it a little bit of that icy feel. Okay, so let's see, what do we have left? We have our eyes. I'm just kind of going to get them in place. Okay, flip this little guy over. These are so hard to flip over. Okay, so let's try to do this. We're going to do this. Kind of going to get them, and you just place them however you like. Oops. Oop. Okay. And then we're going to grab one of the noses. And to cut the noses out, I actually just colored a little scrap of white cardstock with YR3 from my Ohuhu markers. All right, so now we're going to glue those on. And you can have the little nose facing either way, doesn't matter. Okay, get this on here, get the other one on here. Oh, whoop. There we go. And I like to put it a little, I don't want to put it exactly straight. All right, now I have, if you remember, I said I spilled my little thing there of eyes. I had all of, because the die cuts out, if you look at it, the die cuts out exactly how many you need, 2 eyes and 3 buttons. And when I tipped my little tray over, I lost some of them. I kept all the main parts, but I lost some of the little black circles. So for my subsequent ones, I'm probably going to be using just a black marker. Okay, so let's flip this little guy over. Hey. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, there we go. Happy accident there. Okay, and now I'm going to put a little bit here. We're going to put our heart. And you can mix up the colors too. You don't have to do it all the same. Okay, alrighty, there. Now, because I'm a little extra, I dug through my stash and I found some Fun Flock. Okay, some Stampendous Fun Flock. So I put a little glue on the pom-pom. And since I remembered to put the top on his little cap here, or her little cap, whatever, I'm going to do it to that too. All right, now I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper. I usually keep a little piece over here. Okay, and I'm going to put this right here. And I'm going to pour a generous amount of the Fun Flock on here. I'm going to give it a little tap. Oh, look at how cute. Look at how cute that is. All right, I'm going to pour the remainder back into my jar. You can see how these jars go a really, really long way. I don't know if it says on here, this is how many ounces this is. This is 1/4 ounce. Okay, so now I'm gonna dust off the scarf. I'm I'm gonna dust off the little hat. Probably should get a smaller brush to do that. I'm gonna grab a little bit of a smaller brush just to knock that off. Okay. Alrighty. Oops, you know what? Let's get a little bit off of his face too. Okay. All right. Now, on this one, I put some polka dots. So I'm going to take my Jelly Roll 10. I like the number 10. It's kind of my favorite. It's my go-to. Looking for a piece of, so I'm gonna just do the back of one of these because it doesn't matter. Just kind of get it going. And I think, let's see, on this one I think what we'll do, let's do some stripes. Let's do some stripes. And there we go. Okay, and then we're going to do them this way because if the scarf was hanging down, get a little bit this way. And the key to getting your jelly roll to work well is to just do it slowly. Don't be in a rush. Okay, alrighty, that looks good. So what I'm gonna just do is I'm gonna go back over these a little bit. Let's do, sometimes you might have to stop and get your pen flowing again. Okay. Alrighty. Now I'm also gonna put some accents on the hat. I'm actually going to put a little one on the heart too. Alrighty. And I'm going to do a little bit of pink on his cheeks. My Ohuhu markers RV260 is my go-to for the little cheeks. Oh, how adorable. How adorable. And then sometimes I take my number 0 and I go over it a little bit. Now I'm looking to see. I'm going to look at my Ohuhu swatch card and I'm going to look and see what's kind of close. Maybe this V250, will give us a little bit. V250, where are you? Okay. All right. And I'm just kind of gonna just do a little bit of, this will dry back, but I'm just kind of gonna make these little indentations in the hat. These, like I said, these will dry back, but I'm also going to just kind of blend them out a little bit with my 0. Okay. I don't know. I'm thinking it's looking pretty cute. Now I'm going to take a little bit of glossy accents, which I have in this little jar, and I'm going to go right over the heart with this. There we go. And I'm also going to do the same thing to the nose. We're going to make that a little bit shiny. And our snowman, snowwoman, I think I'm going to make this one a girl. I'll make this one a girl. And I'm going to put this aside to dry, but see how cute that is? Ooh, this Fun Flock just really adds like a whole other level to it. All right, now I think I'm going to put her on this card. So let's prepare our card to glue her on. So I am going to take, Let me grab one. All right, I grabbed a top folding card base, so we're gonna go with it. Now, I just have to decide if I want to cut this down a little bit or if I'm going to very carefully grab her, or if I just want to put her like this. Let's see. I think I like a little bit of a white border. Darn it. Darn it. Oh, one more thing. You know what I did to the other one? Let's take a little bit of stickles. Let's take a little bit of stickles. We're going to take a little bit of stickles. This is Stardust. And we're going to go right along the edge there. And we're just kind of going to smooth that down. Just like to tamp it with my finger. Yeah. Just gives it a little bit more of a little magical appearance. Okay, now let's go cut down our card base. All right, I'm going to grab my guillotine trimmer here. So it's going to block most of the screen here for a second. All right, and we're going to cut some down. I don't really measure, I just kind of cut and then look and see how much I like. Do I want more than that? No, I think it looks pretty good. You can see actually there's a little bit of glue here, so I'm gonna cut that off too. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, now that we have this cut, I'm going to adhere it. I'm just trying to decide if I want to pop this up or not. I think because it's embossed, it might be good to pop it up. So I'm going to grab some of my Simon's Stamp Big Mama foam tape, and we'll put some foam tape on here. Okay. All right, so let's see. I usually put 4 or 5 strips. I think this one I'll just do 5 and give it a little extra so it doesn't. Sometimes when you emboss, it tends to work a little bit, the watercolor paper. So using foam tape is a great way to combat that. Okay, one more. Oops. Sorry, forget where my camera is. All right, now don't throw this away. You can use that for something else. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take off the release paper. Okay, there we go. And then we'll apply a little bit of glue to the back of this. I like to apply a little bit of glue just to give it, just gives you a little bit more wiggle and squiggle room. Let's see. Let's see. Hopefully this will, okay. And you don't need a lot, just enough so that you have a minute to move it if you don't get it in the right place the first time. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we'll take our card base and then we will and that looks good to me. There. And then we'll just pat it down. All right, now our little snowman is dry. So I'm going to put our little snowman right down there in the corner. I really have not decided what I'm going to do for a sentiment, but I don't know that I'm going to put a sentiment on the outside because I think it's just so cute like this. I really don't want to cover up the snowflake. Let's see. Maybe I should put a little piece of foam tape under that just because it's sticking up on the snowflake. Let's see. Let's see if we get a little piece of foam tape down here. And I'm gonna just pick the top off, you know, the release paper off of it really quick. I say really quick, and then of course it doesn't come off. Okay. Then I'm gonna put it down here. Okay, so I put it down here so that I should put a little more. Let's just put a little extra glue on there in case that was dry. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. There. That gives us a little bit of. God, I probably should have done it up there too. Let's see if maybe I can do it after the fact here. Just cut a little piece of foam tape. Take the release paper off. Need longer nails here. Okay. Vey. And this is what happens in my life, right? That's why I like showing the entire process, because you see what happens. You know, this happens to all of us. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm going to cut this in half and put one piece down here. Oops. Put one piece there, and then put one piece right behind the. There we go. They kind of stuck together, but honestly, that works perfectly. There we go. See, I wasn't planning on popping that up, but there. I like that. Okay, let's grab some gems. Let's see what we got here in our stash. I'm going to grab some, let's see. I've got some Pawsitively Dazzling gems, and we have, let's see. Oh boy. I think I'm going to use these. These are the clear ones. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump them out into a tray so I can decide which ones I want. There we go. Oops, look, we got a couple left. A couple stuck in there. All right, now let's see what we want to do. And we'll go for odd numbers, like I was saying earlier. Ooh, let's put one right in the middle of the snowflake there. Ooh, that was pretty. And maybe one larger one. Let's see. Do we like that? And then maybe a medium-sized one. I love how brilliant these look. All right, let's see. Nah, down here. And then one more little one. We'll go with one more little one. There, we'll put a group there. Let's see, that's 5. Maybe we need... Do we need a little group up there? Yeah. I'm not sure about this giant one. Maybe I want a medium-sized one. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's better. I like that. Okay. Now we will glue these down. I think I will put my sentiment on the inside of the card. And like I said, I'm not really sure what I'm thinking for a sentiment yet. Because honestly, this does not have to be a holiday card. It could just be a wintertime friendship card, a thinking of you card, a, you know, sending love, anything like that. Okay. Okay. And then we will unscrew the cap here and we will put these back. Put this back on. There we go. And I think for right now, I'm gonna, oops, oh my gosh, look at that. I forgot one. Okay. Cap off our glue. And I think, look at that. How pretty is that? And it's actually super simple to make. You know, showing the process takes a little bit longer because I didn't really have it completely planned out, but I really like the way this turned out. And ink smooshing is just a fun way to kind of make a bunch of backgrounds at once, and then, you know, die cutting, you know, a simple, cute, you know, little die like this really makes it adorable. It makes it super easy because you can die cut a bunch at one time. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and the entire process of making this card from beginning to end. I would really appreciate it if you enjoyed it, if you would give me a like and a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys in another video again really soon. Bye-bye.